there's a whole nother big problem that like almost nobody ever talks about. And it's a killer for herd immunity through
The animals?
the animals.
I knew it.
So
That's because I read your article.
well, it's the animal reservoirs, right? And what do we see? I reported in my blog today about the Smithsonian Zoo. Every one of their big cats tested positive for COVID last month. 100% of them, right?
Wow.
Something like they tested white-tailed deer, which are in 49 states. The only state you can't find a white-tailed deer in is in Alaska. And so they captured, these game animals and they tested them for COVID. And guess what proportion of those white-tailed deer tested positive for COVID?
I don't know.
40%.
Wow.
Almost half. Okay. So as long as the virus can go out into the animals, it has a safe place to sit while we're busy running around injecting everybody with these COVID injections. So let's say that somehow we could inject every man, woman, and child on the planet in one day, just get it all over with, right? Joe Biden's, fantasy, right? 99% injected. Well, the animals would just give it right back to us because you can't vaccinate all those animals. And the reason you can't vaccinate the animals, among other reasons, is because they don't respond to shaming or threats of loss of employment.
Right.
So herd immunity through COVID injections is a myth. And I think that most experts are not even arguing for that anymore. And you're even starting to see countries like, New Zealand recently said they've given up on COVID zero. They actually had a COVID zero policy.
Yeah, which was insane.
Yeah. Yes. And the reason they're having to give up on it, they don't want to give up on it, but they don't have a therapy to get them to COVID zero. They can't beat leaky vaccines and animal reservoirs. There's nothing they can do about that.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, in Israel, arguably the most vaccinated nation on the planet, it's not ultimately stopping the virus. You may have less hospitalizations, but at the end of the day, you still see massive spikes in the Delta variant and cases and things like that. And so it seems as though the virus is not going away. So the question is, how do we live with it in a way that would slow the virus down and protect people from those severe side effects that might cause us to end up in the hospital or die, and it sounds like the way that you get there is by getting the virus, not by getting the jab, but by actually getting the virus. And for those who are vulnerable, we can still protect and isolate those who are incredibly vulnerable without having to, bench our entire working class and completely, destroy our economy. But then also there are certain treatments. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, would you consider supporting this ministry by giving a donation of any amount? You can do so by going to our website, rightresponseministries.com. Let's be frank. Sadly, many evangelical pastors and leaders are serving as nothing more than water carriers for the political left. Just as those in the political left hate you, just like those corporations that are left-leaning hate you, these pastors and evangelical leaders hate you. I know that's a strong statement to make. I'm aware of that, but it's true. They don't care about your personal liberty. They don't care about your freedom. They want you to love your neighbor at the expense of biblical truth, even if it means bearing false witness. That's not us. We're different. We're not the only ones. I don't want to be arrogant. God has reserved a remnant for himself in this time, as he has all other ages and all other places, but they are few and far between. It's called a remnant for a reason. We need your help. We want to stand up to tyranny. We want to stand up to this new left totalitarian regime. We want to defend Christians and people, the salt of the earth, who love America and who love God's word. But we can't do it without your help. If you're not prepared or able to give a financial gift, one way that you can support this ministry is by simply subscribing to our YouTube channel and clicking the bell so that you'll be notified as we come out with new content. You can also help us by sharing our content on all your social media platforms so that more people can hear the truth of God's word with courage and fidelity. Thanks for tuning in. God bless.